outside and I have tea, and I'm going to read you a wee, well, I can't say it's going to be a bedtime story, it's going to be a bedtime poetry session. And I am all cozy, and I have this, blankety thing on that. It's not a blankety thing, it's a scarf that my mother got me a few years ago that I love. And it's got pockets on it. It's a scarf with pockets. And it has this on it. Go for it. And it's so warm and cozy, and like I said, it's a pocket, it's a pocket, it's a pocket. Yes, we're going to read some poetry. We're going to read from this book. The Norton Anthology of Poetry. I love this book. I have owned it twice. One time when I had to move countries, I left it behind. I had gotten it in a charity shop there, and then I ended up having to buy it on eBay when I moved because I needed this book. It's such a beautiful book, and it is a really thick book, and it's tiny print. Not tiny, small print, and very fine pages. And it just has, I can't say everything in it, but it has so much poetry. It's really worth getting. So I'm going to read you some poems. I have one chosen already, but some of them I'm just going to stumble upon. But, of course, first we must light a candle. This candle is almost spent, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy little candle wicks, and then you know when you've like leftover candles, you can melt them down and add wicks. Or I can buy candles that are already wicked up, and I can just melt them down and put them in here. Oh, I could do that. I might do that. Because I love this tin, and I love how it sounds. It's delightful. Oh, I love the rain coming down outside. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, move the microphone a little closer. So... Let us go. Oh, you're so cute. Did I just see lightning? Did I? Oh, it's really coming down fairly heavy outside. Did I really just see lightning? Okay, so yes, I'm going to read you some poetry. Some of poetry that I like. Okay. The first poem is called The House Was Quiet and the World Was Calm. Excellent title. And it's by Wallace Stevens. And I must say I do not know. Oh, okay. Wallace Stevens, 1879 to 1955. Oh, I have to come back to that one. Okay, I'll come back to that one in a second. It's called 13 Ways of Looking at a Blackbird. Oh, that is the sweetest title. Okay. The house was quiet, and the world was calm. The house was quiet, and the world was calm. The reader became the book, and summer night was like the conscious being of the book. The house was quiet, and the world was calm. The words were spoken as if there was no book, except that the reader leaned above the page, wanted to lean, wanted much most to be the scholar to whom his book is true, to whom the summer night is like a perfection of thought. The house was quiet because it had to be. The quiet was part of the meaning, part of the mind, the access of perfection to the page, and the world was calm. The truth in a calm world, in which there is no other meaning, itself is calm, itself is summer and night, itself is the reader, leaning late and reading there. That is beautiful. I love that so much. That's the first poet I've ever read of this Wallace Stevens, because I haven't looked through all of this in order, so I just open it and see what's there. And I've not heard of Wallace Stevens, but I shall research him. I assume it's a him, it could be a her. Because of course there's Wallace Simpson. That's who I had in mind. So I guess we'll find out. But I did, as I was flipping back, I saw that what was it, 13 Ways of Looking at a Blackbird? 13 Ways of Looking at a Blackbird. Among 20 snowy mountains, the only moving thing was the eye of the blackbird. I was of 3 minds, like a tree, in which there are 3 blackbirds. The blackbird whirled in the autumn winds. It was a small part of the pantomime. Oh, it was a small part of the pantomime. I didn't realize. A man and a woman are one. A man and a woman and a blackbird are one. I do not know which to prefer, the beauty of inflections or the beauty of innuendos, the blackbird whistling or just after. Icicles filled the long window with barbaric glass. The shadow of the blackbird crossed it to and fro. The mood traced in the shadow an indecipherable cause of thin men of Haddam. Why do you imagine golden birds? Do you not see how the blackbird walks around the feet of the women about you? I know noble accents and lucid, inescapable rhythms, but I know too that the blackbird is involved in what I know. When the blackbird flew out of sight, it marked the edge of one of many circles. At the sight of the blackbirds flying in a green light, even the bawds of euphony would cry out sharply. He rode over Connecticut in a glass coach. Once a fear pierced him, in that he mistook the shadow of his equipage for blackbirds. The river is moving. The blackbird must keep. The blackbird must be flying. It was evening all afternoon. It was snowing, and it was going to snow. The blackbird sat in the cedar limbs. That is lovely. find another poem. I love this one. This is by John Clare, 1842. No, wait. John Clare, 1793 to 1864. I am, yet what I am, no one cares or knows. My friends forsake me like a memory lost. I am the self-consumer of my woes. They rise and vanish in oblivious host, like shadows in love's frenzied stifled throes. And yet I am, and live, like vapors tossed into the nothingness of scorn and noise, into the living sea of waking dreams, where there is neither sense of life or joys, but the vast shipwreck of my life's esteems. Even the dearest that I love the best are strange, nay, rather stranger than the rest. I long for scenes where man hath never trod, a place where woman never smiled or wept, there to abide with my Creator, God, and sleep as I in childhood sweetly slept, untroubling and untroubled where I lie, the grass below, above the vaulted sky. I love that. This is Percy Bysshe Shelley, quite a famous person. From what era? Oh, prolific. 1792 to 1822. Where was that poem? To Jane. The keen stars were twinkling. It's the name of the poem. The keen stars were twinkling, and the fair moon was rising above them. Dear Jane, the guitar was tinkling, but the notes were not sweet till you sung them again. As the moon's soft splendor over the faint cold starlight of heaven is thrown, so your voice most tender to the strings where that soul hath then given its known. The stars will awaken, though the moon sleep a full hour later. Tonight no leaf will be shaken, whilst the dews of your melody scatter delight. Though the sound overpowers, sing again, with your dear voice revealing a tone of some world far from ours, where music and moonlight and feeling are one. That is beautiful. Where music and moonlight and feeling are one. I love that. one more poem, and then you must sleep. Come in, it's called. As I came to the edge of the woods, thrush music, hark. This is by Robert Frost. As I came to the edge of the woods, thrush music, hark. Now if it was dark, now it was dusk outside, inside it was dark. Too dark in the woods for a bird, by sleight of wing, to better its perch for the night, though it still could sing. The last of the light, the last of the light of the sun that had died in the west, still lived for one song more in a thrush's breast. Far in the pillared dark, thrush music went, almost like a call to come in to the dark and lament. But no, I was out for stars, I would not come in, and I meant, not even if asked, and I hadn't been, and I hadn't been. Okie dokie. That is all. Last sip of tea. And to blow out the candle. Good night. Good night. Parting is such a sweet sorrow.